Okay, this video will just kind of help with some of the very basics of the ArcGIS for the virtual field geology from Dreamy Draw. So once you have this downloaded, this zip file with all the materials, you can open it up. And the first thing you want to do is open this Dreamy Draw mapping file. This is called the project file for ArcGIS, ArcMap, and sometimes we call it the MXD file. Okay, so once it's opened, then and loaded, you can take a quick tour. So the table of contents is here on the left, and you see the shape files, or the points, lines, and polygons are on the top. We have some other materials. Below is imagery right now, so there's a kind of an overview of the area at 20 centimeters per pixel. And then the zoom, this area where we're working, is the original 4 centimeters per pixel, very high resolution. You can also turn off the imagery and turn on the contour map, for example, or the hillshade. So it's useful to use different ones just to compare. So let's zoom in. If you go to the bookmarks, you can show this is the view 1, that's everything, and then the primary target is this area here. So I can come in, and then the main thing you'll want to do is use the editor. And if you don't have the editor open, you would find it here under customize toolbars and turn it on. So we say start editing. We'll just pick one of our shape files. So let's just zoom in here. And the basic approach should be to think about, okay, so I see this blue unit and then this is the purple unit, so probably want to extend the contact first. So you get an editing window, we want to create features, and you can kind of try to get this guy so it's not too much in the way. You click on over here whichever of the files you're working with, and it already has some of them defined. So then I can just start to click here, and I've extended the contact a little ways, and I click once to start, once for each vertex, double click to finish. Now that's the contact. So if I right click and I open the attribute table, I can see that I just made this certain new piece of a contact. So I can go back, and let's say now we could draw a little bit more of a polygon of blue right here, let's say, just to kind of mark some things out. Or the other thing you might want to do is, if you come over to the editor, you can grab this little tool, and if you double click, then you can, and then you right click just on the boundary, you can insert a vertex, and so then you can grab the vertex and pull it along. Let's do another one. Right click, oops, you have to get it just right. Insert vertex, pull that one over. And then that's basically it. We can add a strike and dip. You could say, well, it looks to me like this area has, I can see some things, but here we want to go in and open the attribute table, and then you need to add the strike and dip. And so you can measure it, or like in this case, I'm estimating it's about 25, so north 25 east would be the strike, and then the dip, let's say we can see a little better, 45 degrees. And so now you see, oops, I made another one, but that when I finished that one, then it rotated it the 25 degrees for the strike, and it added the label for the dip. So that's the basic concept. The other thing you're going to want to do is to use the ArcScene, which is a 3D viewer, to interact with the data and think about what the geology is. So here we are in ArcScene. You just grab this tool here to rotate. You can then, if you click on the magnifying glass, you could zoom in. Now you can see the resolution isn't great, and that's because we're trying to save some memory right now. So if you right-click Properties and you come into Base Heights, we can change this to, right now it's 3 meters per pixel. If I make this about 3,000 rows wide, then it's 27 centimeters pixels, so it's going to be much higher resolution. The thing you have to be careful about is this can crash because it can consume too much memory on your computer, so you want to do this cautiously as far as just continuing to decrease that resolution. So now it's done, it re-rendered, and we see the resolution is more interesting, and now you can rotate and look at some of the features, and this would be how you might, don't worry about these artifacts here, you can see the layers look like they might be dipping, and so you could click and estimate a strike and a dip. Now coming back to ArcMap, once you're, don't forget to save, so you would click here, and also down here at the bottom is, right now we're in the data view, but if you click on layout view, you can see your map, and then you could go back to bookmarks, primary target, and you kind of have the map all ready to go. And this you could then print, or you can export it and choose a PNG or PDF and save it. So that should do it. Good luck.